Uganda Kingdom supporting government on developmental programs. A very good evening to you tuned into UBC TV. We warmly welcome you to our news tonight. My name is MICHEAL LUKOMWA. Elizabeth Nakakoni, the lady herself, is already here in sign language interpretation. In our first story tonight, we'll start with President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has commended the Kingdom of Buganda for joining the government's efforts to fight poverty and creation of wealth through developmental initiatives such as Parish Development Model, Presidential Zonal Industrial Hubs, and Emyoga. Museveni was speaking at the ceremony shortly after commissioning the Presidential Skilling Industrial Hub for Greater Masaka Sub-Region at Ndegeya Village in Masaka City. We have details here.
Bari banera bide nange ne baleka nayenze wanga nakora ne Mutesa nakora ne Kiwanuka abantu abona nali nkola nabo n'olwekyo abeita ba DP etali Museveni sindikakase malawa ono DP kale no ku DP Museveni achayibulamu notambuza ko DP yayetia oba welimba yokureka Mengo, waliwo Mutesa, ibingira bali ba minisita ibyo bakwataho bonna nali nkora nabo.
President Yoweri Museveni addressing residents in Masaka City. Now, First Lady, also Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has launched the second phase of the Education Refugee Response Plan and host communities. The second phase is expected to benefit 674,895 annually at a cost of $450 million, as Nasiru Luwama reports.
The Education Response Plan for Refugees and Host Communities target to ensure improved learning of refugees and children in the host communities and adolescents. The first phase has benefited 577,500.
The initiative represented the collective national efforts to respond to the learning and protection crisis for children and youth in refugee hosting areas and to monitor the implementation.
The Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, while launching the second phase of the response plan, emphasized provision of equitable and inclusive relevant learning opportunities to refugees.
The parents of our children and the parents of the refugee children also must play their role. And we must continue to guide them and to speak about this shared responsibility so that our communities and the refugees don't think that the responsibility is to government and to our partners and to those who are willing to support and that they have no role to play.
Education partners are pleased with outcomes of the first phase of the plan.
The education development partners are pleased to note the steady increase in enrollment rate for refugee and host community children. We are pleased to see some improvements in their learning achievements during phase 1 of the ERP, and we are quite confident that the second phase of the ERP will carry more positive news to these children of the refugees and the host communities.
Refugees' education program are faced with the challenge of rampant dropouts, which threatens the sustainability of coordination efforts in 12 hosting districts.
and improvements must be made to meet the standard in pupil-to-teacher ratio and pupil-to-classroom ratios. To overcome these challenges, we need to and are pursuing long-term planning to ensure sustainability, particularly of recurrent costs, and addressing the infrastructure gaps that we see and need to address.
Uganda hosts at least 1.5 million refugees, with 60% of young people. The Office of the Prime Minister calls for more funding to sustain open-door policy for refugees.
Humanitarian funding has reduced significantly amidst global conflict. The refugee situation in Uganda is now a protracted crisis that requires long-term development solutions. This very education response plan is underfunded.
The first phase of the Education Response Plan for Refugees and Host Communities was launched in 2018, which faced challenges of inadequate data for disability, 42% funding gap, low enrollment in secondary schools, and adverse impacts of COVID-19. Abdul Nasser Lubwama for UBC.
UPDF soldiers, the UPDF is prioritizing soldiers' welfare through implementation of a fair pay structure focusing on officers in the lower ranks and above. A pay structure has been developed to achieve the exercise phases. Meanwhile, the UPDF also aims at addressing the backlog of unpaid dues for 57,000 veterans amounting to 64 billion. As Ivan Kawa reports, the Ministry of Defense officials are recommending an increase in the budget to adequately support the execution of tasks assigned to the Army.
The UPDF is committed to the welfare and salaries of soldiers as part of the professionalization and modernization initiative. A pay structure has been developed and will be implemented in phases, starting from the rank of private to captain.
When we received a presidential directive to equate the salary of a private to a grade 3 primary school teacher. And this was achieved in that year, with a private salary increasing from 385,000 shillings to 485,000.
By 2018, over 68,000 UPDF veterans went unpaid due to budget constraints. While progress has been made with 11,000 veterans receiving 113 billion, a backlog of 57,000 remains, amounting to 64 billion.
In the following years, government will allocate funds to clear the remaining backlog. This is a commitment we have had from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development.
In the effort to implement the government manifesto, the UPDF has enhanced its equipment since 2021 to protect the country from any aggression. The Defense College has also been established to provide strategic training to senior military officers and other qualifying personnel. The Army is actively contributing to the economy through various production initiatives. They have restocked the Ankole cattle for export and set up a maintenance plant for aircraft.
Of the African continent, this is the first MRO responsible for maintenance of such aircraft.
They are involved in the production of mineral water to supply UPDF activities and other government agencies. The UPDF has also increased production of armored vehicles.
This is one of our sites. Construction of Karamoja's Corporation at Mutai, phases 1 and 2. Completed construction of a free port zone at Entebbe International Airport. Completed civil works on the upgrade of Entebbe Pediatric Hospital Access Road. All this is NEC works.
Despite presence of negative armed groups in the neighboring countries involving livestock theft and terrorism threats, the UPDF remains determined to crack down on these elements. Between 2021 and 2023, they have successfully neutralized 38 suspected terrorists, arrested 208 suspects, and recovered 59 firearms. To enhance security in the areas prone to cattle rustling, 2 battalions and commando companies have been deployed.
The UPDF also protects vital installations and also supports the Somali National Security Forces to degrade the Al-Shabaab.
The UPDF recognizes the importance of training and research in dealing with cyber threats. With support from the government of India, they have established a National Forensic Sciences University in Jinja to counter cyber attacks on government installations.
And we are saying that hackers continue to attack government installations and commercial entities, causing heavy losses in terms of funds and also disruptions in operations. UPDF Cybersecurity Unit has built capacity in training, research, and acquisition of equipment to deal with this threat.
Furthermore, the Army has taken on the responsibility of handling all construction projects related to health and education. Currently, 162 projects have been handed over, with 63 projects already delivered, and the remaining 99 projects are due to be completed. Limited funding remains a big hindrance to implementing UPDF strategic goals and objectives. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Kampala.
In what sounds as a U-turn in the mystery surrounding the purported expired degree courses reported by UK's University of Cambridge, Uganda's State Minister in charge of higher education, Dr. Jesse Mengo, has watered down the report in a ministerial statement presented before Parliament. Declared all the 2,000 qualifications reported as expired, that they are all still valid. Susan Naonga reports from Parliament.
Review. Do they pay?
The Ministry of Education and Sports has made clarifications about information authored by the UK's University of Cambridge that went viral, declaring degree programs and academic credentials offered in some Ugandan universities and tertiary institutions as expired. In a statement presented, Parliament State Minister in charge of higher education, Dr. John Mengo, told Parliament that the ministry isn't aware of this information that went viral, as indicated by the University of Cambridge.
But under our law, there is no provision for expiry of courses. Courses are continuous. So the country needs to remain calm. There is no law that provides for expiry of courses. The courses are still valid. It was just, I think, a bad choice of word. But I think the review is going on, and National Council of Higher Education is continuing to review the courses to make them applicable to the circumstances that obtain with the changing circumstances in the world.
Muyingo explained to Parliament circumstances under which degree programs and other courses can be declared expired by the National Council of Higher Education.
There is quite a lot that we are picking from you, which indicates that there are gaps in the law.
Expiry of accreditation, as reflected on the National Council of Higher Education website, accordingly means that the program needs to be re-examined to establish whether the key aspects upon which the course was accredited is still in place.
But the $1 million question would be, why would universities continue to admit students to programs which are under review by the National Council of Higher Education?
Other institutions opted to scrap off some courses and also merge some which won't be reaccredited. The ministry assured the public on the credibility of their papers.
I am calling upon all of us to join hands to make sure that the right information gets the right people.
However, a section of members of Parliament had reservations about the regulatory framework of periodic assessment of courses by the National Council of Higher Education.
So where is this reaccreditation coming from, and under what law is it being done?
So the starting point here is to look at the National Council, the Act of Higher Education review.
Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Tayewa was not convinced with the communication on delays and the missing link of information flow at the ministry.
Especially these regulations which institutions keep referring to within their powers. You gave me this power to do it. You can cause the national crisis.
The Ministry of Education highlighted the limitations of competence of the National Council of Higher Education.
The students pay to National Council for Higher Education 20,000 Uganda shillings every academic year. And that money is what National Council for Higher Education uses. But the budget for that enables us to collect about 5 billion plus, and their budget is over 10 billion.
The ministry, however, warned that no program will receive any accreditation label until they conform to the requirements of reassessment before November 2023. Susan Naung and Gloria Guitabinji reporting for UBC TV.
The Joint Security Forces of UPDF and Police Deputy RDC Justin Tuko, with the help of the community in Lotisan Sub-County Moroto District, have arrested 2 key suspects in the attack at Atederoy Primary School, in which one teacher, Joy Chebet, was killed, and the deputy head teacher, Peter Chepsukor, however, was also killed. However, their 1-year-old survived with injuries. The community wants the suspects when proven guilty, to be executed in as far as the law stipulates.
2 key suspects in the raid at Atadoi Primary School in Rollout Sub-County Moroto District have been arrested. On Wednesday last week, the family of the deputy head teacher, Peter Chepsukor, at Atadoi Primary School was attacked by suspected warriors. The wife, Joy Chebet, was killed. However, their 1-odd-year child survived with injuries. However, through community policing exercise, leading clues were offered to security personnel that has now led to the arrest of the 2 suspects.
His name, the day of the incident, came out, and then the other one also was Losur. But all these people there, therefore, all accepted that they had 1 gun.
According to the suspects, they were hired by a male teacher at a cash deposit of shilling 600,000 to kill Chepsukor, whom he had picked a misunderstanding with.
This class, even that one should be killed. Why? Because you came and got the other one from that Manyata. So you gave the other 600,000 for the grade. Say that you first go and clear the mission. After the mission, it's going to give you a picky.
Moroto Deputy RDC Justin Tuko narrates how the 2 suspects, Logore and Lusuru, were arrested.
Now, having realized that we were really serious of not giving them the relief food, and then they decided now to become cooperative.
The owner of the gun, who was identified as Lokrukobo, a resident of Lotsan Sub-County, Moroto District, is now still on the run.
He also camouflaged the community by chasing after this one. And then by the time the community arrested the other one, he decided to remain behind. Now from behind, he told the community, no, I've lost my phone. I'm looking for a phone. Now, I've also realized that was the trick for him to remain behind.
Locals now want the suspects in the murder, if proven guilty, be executed in accordance with the law.
The chairman of the management committee, I'm asking you people, you give us, we kill that one, and the rest, then you take that one to prison. Then if you take again, then he comes again, he will kill us.
Whenever we get suspect like that one, we all work together and search for that person, let that person produce that gun, and later on, let the government take his part by arresting or slaughtering. So that we are tired of this. Every time we are crying at night. At the night,
this one man, the teacher, even the teacher should be killed. Why? Because he came and got this one. That you can kill the teacher because they have some issue with that one. So that even the teachers who had their problem with others will learn from there.
The 2 suspects are being detained at the 3rd Division headquarters in Moroto District. Story compiled by Maureen Yiga for UBC News.
The director of Feed the Hungry East Africa, Solomon Mwesige, has appealed to government to prioritize underground water harvesting and build irrigation schemes that will spur food production in the water and hunger-stressed Karamoja sub-region. Mwesige made the call at a sensitization drive of Karamojongs on the benefits of farming.
Feed the Hungry East Africa is on a sensitization drive to change the herdsman lifestyle of the Karamojong people and adopt the crop production farming practice to address the problems of famine and hunger that have riddled economic growth in the water-stressed Karamoja sub-region. The need to address the hunger crisis in Karamoja sub-region follows research conducted by Feed the Hungry East Africa that identified Karamoja region as an epicenter of famine and hunger annually, with Kotido district being the worst hit.
So we researched and found out that there was an improved type of seed for sorghum, which is mainly developed for the Karamoja area, and we took many tons, which the Karamojong are already being empowered to plant. And as I talk with you now, as I talk to you now, the planting started a month and a half ago, and they're still planting, depending, because different sub-counties, depending on the landscape, those in the lowlands started immediately because there was some little rains there, and on the uplands, rain has just started. I think it started last week.
The problem of hunger crisis in the water-stressed Karamoja sub-region can only be addressed if government invests heavily in underground water harvesting to support the proposed irrigation schemes and to change the mindset of the indigenous Karamojongs that is tilted on herdsman lifestyle that has endangered food farming and crop production.
The seeds we have taken grow faster. It is 1 month faster than others, and the yield is 8 times more than the ordinary sorghum that they were planting, so that they can have more yield at a shorter time. And this type is also drought resistant to a certain extent.
Pastor Solomon Mwesige says they are working with the Pentecostal Assemblies of God and local leaders in sensitizing the Karamojongs for a holistic approach towards crop production. Pastor Solomon Mwesige says Feed the Hungry East Africa has empowered education in Karamoja with providing children and teachers with food.
To motivate and encourage students to go to school for food, but when they go for food, they will find education. And that will help change their thinking, and in a long run, we can change a generation.
Hungry East Africa has also provided sorghum seedlings to Karamojongs to experience the beauty of farming. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
The NRM Vice Chairperson Haji Moses Chigongo has condemned the use of hate speech among NRM leaders, but rather focus on the goals of the party. Chigongo made the remarks during a nationwide survey conducted by the NRM Secretariat with the aim of assessing the progress of the manifesto.
The NRM Secretariat has met with NRM leaders in Rubaga Division to assess the progress of the NRM manifesto implementation and how the party should prepare for the 2026 general elections. The Vice Chairman NRM Alhaji Moses Chigongo warned leaders against the use of hate speech among party members.
Procedure following structures ngabwe ziri tugumye structures zaffe ziberenga ngumuddala zera jagalo kubabulya movement bweberaga structures tuzikozeseza bulungi tewaliwo muntu nomu ayinza kuwangula movement.
He also appealed to the party leaders in Rubaga Division to listen to people's views irrespective of their political affiliations. Chigongo asked leaders of the NRM here to provide good leadership to the people, keep them united and identify their needs.
Abantu mugenda ne mwerimba nze abantu bange toyira abantu bo abantu boyita ababo ba movement kubanga tiwaliyo n'omu yali abazze babe abantu abasinga obungi tubasaze mu movement sibo kiri kati Kigongo bwenva kuba vice chairman ani agende butambala eryambuuzeeko tobale babale ku ngalo.
The director NRM Mobilization, Rosemary Seninde, said the time for reconciliation is now.
NRM yateekawo manifesto atenga service delivery eyo bwebanga tetuukiriziddwa kitegeeza abantu baffe bajja kubeera banyiivu. Tata abakyala boogedde wano, abavubuka boogedde, abaliko obulemu boogedde, naye nga bonna kye basinga okwogera twetaaga ssente tukole emirimu.
Despite her call for reconciliation of party members, she told the people in Rubaga Division that they will traverse the whole country, meeting all NRM party leaders in different parts before the 2026 general elections.
Tituyina okukola kye tuyita phased countrywide constituency mobilization program. Tudemu bakulembeze bano nga si kiseera kya kalulu. Era tata njagala okutegeeza kino nankubadde tukitandise naye tekigenda kukoma leero. tugenda kutambula paka wansi ku magombolola ate n'abamagombolola bakke wansi paka ku miruka paka ku byalo.
Other issues that came up at the assessment drive of the NRM manifesto in Rubaga was the delayed pension of veteran soldiers since 1992.
Baveterani bonna mu ggwanga abaawummula 92 twateekebwawo okusaddaakibwa. Tuli saddaaka eri abalala. Omuntu bw'akolera gavumenti n'awummula bamusasula pensioni. Naye ffe baveterani titufuna omuntu ne bamusasula emitwalo 2.
The NRM Secretariat is on a fact-finding mission gathering information from leaders on what the NRM party should put into consideration for the development of the country. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Now, today marked 57 years since the attack on Mengo Palace by the UNLA forces led by Idi Amin on orders of Prime Minister then Dr. Apollo Milton Obote. The Katikiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Maiga, insists on hard work to restore the glory of Buganda as they mourn the 1966 Mengo crisis. Katikiro made the remarks during prayers organized by Buganda Kingdom at St. Nicholas Orthodox Cathedral, Namugongo, led by Archbishop Namungona, I beg your pardon, led by Archbishop Leronimos Musei.
On 24th May 1966, the army led by Idi Amin on orders of Prime Minister Apollo Milton Obote attacked Mengo Palace. It is 56 years. The kingdom organized the service to commemorate the day at St. Nicholas Orthodox Cathedral, Namungona. The service was led by the Orthodox Archbishop Leronimos Musei. Archbishop Musei applauded Kabaka Ronald Mwenda Mutebi II for developing Buganda Kingdom. He condoned the abuse of guns and appealed to government to ensure public security.
This is what was taking place. Simply because the guns we bring in this country are for the purpose of keeping Uganda. Whose tax is used? When we say we are paying tax, this is to enable the government, even the area of acquiring guns, to keep Ugandans safe, are acquired. So it is wrong now, and even it was wrong by then, to see that those guns are acquired to keep the safety of a Ugandan are turned against the Ugandan and his life. We should condemn it. We must feel it is wrong. We should avoid it, whoever is now carrying a gun or is using a gun, that really this gun is not turned against anyone.
Representing the Katikiro of Uganda, the Speaker of Uganda Rukiko, Patrick Luaga, said the 1966 Mengo crisis was a turning point for Uganda.
Tunatambulira mu buufu obwo nga Ssaabasajja Kabaka nga bw'atulambika abakulembeze ne baatuwadde Buganda tujja kugizza mu kifo kyayo ku ntikko, era ekyo kye kinaabeera ekikubagizo ekyannamaddala olw'ebyo bye tuyiseemu era bye tukyayitamu ng'Obwakabaka bye twayitamu ng'Obwakabaka tebuliiwo.
Adia Nakuti, Andrew Sebira, UBC.
Now, the President, I'll take you back to one of our stories that we started with, where the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has lauded Buganda Kingdom for supporting government efforts in skilling the youth. The President's remarks come a few days after the Katikiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Maiga, appreciated government for establishing the Masaka Industrial Hub. Museveni was commissioning the Masaka Industrial Hub, a skills promotion and learning center for the greater Masaka region. Henry Okrut has it in detail.
This is a group of young people learning professional hairdressing. They are a mixture of boys and girls embracing hands-on learning. This course is one of the 6 that are being offered here, including tailoring. Equally here, boys and girls have embraced skilling for improved livelihood. It is an initiative co-initiated by the former State House Comptroller, Lucy Nachobe, and President Yoweri Museveni. It is now being consolidated by the current Comptroller, Jane Bareche.
We don't force anyone. You must be interested to come and learn. You must be of a sober mind if you are to come to this center and learn. And we select you irrespective of religious affiliations, of political affiliations, of tribe, of any language, provided you are of age.
This speech was made shortly after a presidential guided tour of the premises. From tailoring, hairdressing, carpentry, fabrication, catering, as well as building and construction. The head of state was impressed by the progress of his idea, appreciating Buganda Kingdom for supporting the same.
Nsanyusa okulaba nti baganda bange ba Mengo bazze ne tukwatagana bulungi kubanga baali baneerabidde nange ne mbaleka.
Museveni's vision in this is to reduce on imports and promote exports for locally produced and substituted items.
Okubajja okwo bayinza kukola entebe ne tuzitunda Congo oba Sudan ezo walimu zisobola okweyongerako entebe, kukola entebe kubanga mbadde mugula entebe kuva China, mbadde mugula entebe kuva Dubai, omudungu. Ab'omudungu bakola entebe, fe ab'omu kibera ne tuzigula. Obwo bwe butamanya nze saagala kubeera nabwo, kati njagala abaana bano bayige emyogo egyo yonna by'e Masaka eri ebweru babikolere wano.
In doing so, there will be need and room for expansion with other courses. The availability of raw materials will make this possible.
Naye njagala twongeremu obukugu obulala obunaabaleetera abaana bano okukwatagana n'obutale obunene okukola engato kubanga bw'okola engato mbadde mugula engato wano za Italy oba za China oba zaani, so nga engato ezo ziva mu maliba fe abantu babo mu Lukoola nti tulunda wano amaliba gajjudde, kati eri ekawumu nabazimbirayo factory ey'okulongoosa amaliba. N'olwekyo obuzibu bw'amaaso bw'okusaka amaliba kuva bweru kuva China, mu China n'atuguza amaliba so nga abalalo bamwe balunda wano nti.
The initiative has promoted employment both for the vocational students and institution employees.
Balina mirimu simanyi biki ebyo byonna biva ku buzibu bw'amaaso obuli mu bukulembeze obuli mu Africa. N'olwekyo nga kati bwe mufunye amaliba agamwe ge balongoseza wali ekawumu mu luwero wamwe, njagala wano twongereko abaana okubateereka okukola engato, leather technology obukugu bw'okukolagana n'ebyamaliba, engato, ensawo z'abakyala n'emmotoka zino zezituulamu, zino entebe z'emmotoka zezituulako mu mmotoka ezisinga ziriko amaliba.
The first intake and enrollment at Masaka Industrial Hub was in February 2023, with 240 students getting admitted for the various courses. All this is part of President Yoweri Museveni's wealth creation tour of the Greater Masaka sub-region. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Jerry Khan, Jerry Jerry Con. Hey, Master Blaster. Touch him, man. Buy Jerry Con with muscle. Those ones who say go for you only. Mundawa. First group is I teach you. But never come up with the muscari. Because of the cover that is very far. Is you serious? It's just you. What? Yeah? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs. And you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru. And Umaru refused to give you enough meat. Mama! Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru, where? Jerry,
okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
Where does it come from? That thing that makes us Ugandan. That thing that makes us different from everybody else. Where does it grow infinitely? Some say it's in our history, in our culture, and in our hearts, in our warm smiles and vast miles of coffee, dairy farmland, and amazing maize fields. It's in our inherent pursuit to always be better, to never stop growing and glowing. So you see, we are more than just a waving flag. We are a nation of sweat and skills, a nation of ideas and inventions. But what truly makes us Ugandan is our quest to improve the quality of life for Ugandans by creating sustainable jobs, businesses, and improving household incomes. That's what makes us Uganda Development Bank. Uganda Development Bank, inspiring development.
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payments anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or sure pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
The Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years. These people should have never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The yellow fever campaign will be conducted in phases, with the first phase covering districts in the regions of Arua, Gulu, Lira, Kabare, Kabarore, and Hoima. The campaign will begin on the 9th of June and end on the 13th of June 2023 and will be conducted in all government health facilities and outreach posts. All parents and caregivers are requested to take their children aged 9 months to the nearest health facility and outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever disease. All adults aged up to 60 years but have never been vaccinated should go to health facilities and vaccination outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever. Ministry of Health calls upon everybody to report any person who presents with signs and symptoms such as yellowing of eyes, fever, headache, muscle pain, feeling of vomiting or nausea, vomiting, and general body weakness or fatigue to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately for medical attention. This could be yellow fever. Yellow fever vaccine is a single dose given once in a lifetime. The yellow fever vaccine is safe, effective, and free. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Gavi and partners.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
UBC News Tonight. Thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has disseminated the progress and key achievements of the NRM Manifesto Commitment of the year 2021 to 26. This was highlighted during the cabinet presentation of the manifesto under the theme Secure Your Future.
In 2021, under the theme Securing Your Future, the ruling National Resistance Movement Party laid guiding strategies from which the mission and mission of Uganda could be achieved. 2 years later, last week, the Office of the President through Cabinet commenced the assessment and presentation of the manifesto from 2021-2023. Today, during the presentation of the commitments progress, the Minister of State for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Helen Grace Asamo, highlighted the livelihood program extended to youths under the economic empowerment category.
Under economic empowerment, the youth livelihood program, 162 youth groups covering 1,048 beneficiaries, of which 542 are female and 498 are male, were financed under the YLP. A total of 1.918 billion has been disbursed over the period. Over the period, 2.441 billion has been recovered from the Youth Livelihood Program.
The ministry's report shows that since 2021, the women empowerment drive in different sub-regions has enabled increasing access to entrepreneurial and financial services to improve their enterprises and lives.
3,544 women groups covering 30,142 beneficiaries have been supported by the Women Enterprise Fund. That is what we usually call WEP. A total of 25.15 billion has been disbursed over the period.
The Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development is mandated to promote cultural growth, gender equality, labour administration, social protection and people-centred development. Joshua Kagor, UBC News.
United Nations Development Programme and Kabale University have unveiled a partnership to foster innovation ecosystems in Uganda's public universities and implementation of the Youth for Business Innovation and Entrepreneurship facility. The partnership was announced at the signing ceremony of the UNDP and Kabale University held at the UNB headquarters in Kampala.
In the move to address the unemployment amongst the skilled and unskilled youths in the country, United Nations Development Programme has partnered with Kabale University to create a business incubation center to foster transformation development. Elsie Tafara, the UNDP resident representative, noted that the facility will help both students and the community to make innovations, but also help startups to obtain intellectual property rights and commercialize their innovations.
UNDP, we are trying to position Uganda as one of those hubs in Africa where those public investees can be able to advance the development course, but also to find solutions to some of the complex things that we are dealing with. The partnership with Kabale University would also touch on our work with the youth, especially in the area of entrepreneurship, innovation, and therefore it becomes an imperative for us to move forward together.
Because members of the community with innovative ideas will be availed this vital opportunity to dream, experiment, and concretize their ideas, then they can be operationalized. And I'm sure many citizens have very good ideas, but they never have this chance, the support to say, it could go this way.
The Youth for Business Innovation and Entrepreneurship Facility is an innovative instrument designed to tap into the innovative and entrepreneurial spirit of the Ugandans youth to promote impact-driven entrepreneurship, foster innovation, and leverage business solutions to address youth unemployment.
We are also working with the Ministry of Trade to set up a policy for the startup ecosystem. Startups, what kind of incentives should be in place for people that want to start businesses? And that is in the works. And
so this center will provide that, not only to those that have gone to school, but even to those that haven't, but have the potential of dreaming and coming up with something. We're going to run it as an open space where you don't have to seek for an appointment to come.
Like Kabale University, what Kabale is trying to establish is going to support people to go through that process, ideate, test and iterate, and then be able to take your ideas beyond ideas to the market. And that's why we are trying to create that ecosystem support to make sure that even when there is funding, it could help Uganda to achieve its development agenda.
Zahra Abigaba, UBC News.
Technical and Vocational Education Training Secretariat is set to roll out the 2019 industrial-led curricula in a move to equip learners for the world of work. The Assistant Commissioner Training, Eddie Turiatemba, says that the process for the rollout has begun with training of student trainers, which prepares them to comprehend the curricula to impart the necessary skills to the students.
Teachers are being remodeled to be able to teach modules that are going to transform our trainees into people who are able to work with the new occupations that have been developed.
We are going to go ahead and then impart them to learners who are being trained at our respective colleges.
That's why we are saying that TVET policy is emphasizing strengthening the relationship between the training institutions and the private sector.
There is need for funding to buy more equipment to cover the other institutions, but also to train these instructors.
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payments anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or shore pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
The Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years. These people should have never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The yellow fever campaign will be conducted in phases, with the first phase covering districts in the regions of Arua, Gulu, Lira, Kabale, Kabarore, and Hoima. The campaign will begin on the 9th of June and end on the 13th of June 2023 and will be conducted in all government health facilities and outreach posts. All parents and caregivers are requested to take their children aged 9 months to the nearest health facility and outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever disease. All adults aged up to 60 years but have never been vaccinated should go to health facilities and vaccination outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever. Ministry of Health calls upon everybody to report any person who presents with signs and symptoms such as yellowing of eyes, fever, headache, muscle pain, feeling of vomiting or nausea, vomiting, and general body weakness or fatigue to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately for medical attention. This could be yellow fever. Yellow fever vaccine is a single dose given once in a lifetime. The yellow fever vaccine is safe, effective, and free. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Gavi and partners.
At At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Mbara and Jinja.
Uganda is among the steadily growing economies in Africa. This is attributed to an open economy that it is, which allows startups to flourish. Players are finding ways to fund the youth to boost businesses.
Entrepreneurship in Uganda has faced significant challenges in securing funding and partnerships. Among the youth, many startup ventures after research hardly see the light of the day. Nile Breweries, under its mother company ABI BV, has launched the 5th cohort of the 100 accelerators, an entrepreneurship program aligned towards the promotion of business startups committed to sustainability.
It's not in isolation. It's just a build on the many initiatives that Nile Breweries has undertaken to support especially innovation through entrepreneurship, to make sure that you provide the necessary capital and support and ideas.
Currently, the world is finding solutions to problems affecting the global and supply chain, including climate change, smart agriculture, biodiversity, the circular economy, water stewardship, health, and wellness.
Businesses must source, operate, and sell globally while providing a distinctive perspective in supply chain to address regional and local sustainability issues. This year, the Accelerator program identified 8 challenge statements aimed at assisting cutting-edge ideas and high-potential technologies that complement partner objectives and the UN Sustainable Development Goals, the UBSDGs, in the field of climate action, inclusive growth, smart agriculture, biodiversity, circular economy, and water.
The campaign that started last year had 35 Ugandans join. The 80 competitors from 20 countries across the world compete with the winner currently operating from Uganda under Agricultural Solutions. In Uganda, Nile Breweries concentrates on empowering the youth and farmers through different initiatives. These include Kickstart, Be a Millionaire campaign, among others. Justin Nakami, Emon Ngabo, UBC News.
Uganda's aviation sector has organized the Aviation Expo to demystify theories running a complex aviation industry and encourage the public to use air transport services. The expo will also create opportunities for students and the public to get more information about career guidance in relation to the aviation industry. Sulaka Gugube has this.
Uganda's aviation industry, in partnership with Uganda Professional Pilots Association, have officially unveiled the Aviation Expo slated for 23rd to 24th June 2023 at Old Entebbe International Airport. According to Captain Aziz Sentamu, UPPA, the public has several questions that need to be answered by aviators about the aviation industry in Uganda.
We thought the public needs to know, in case you want to get into the aviation industry, which are the schools and who is in charge of this industry.
Top on the agenda of the Aviation Expo will be the opportunities for students and the public about career guidance in relation to the aviation industry.
So first of all, we want to show the general public that even after training, there are operators to give you these jobs. And they will only give you these jobs if you're what? You're trained. And then also to create an awareness to the general public about the evolution of technology in aviation.
However, operators and exhibitors will be expected to meet a certain fee to attend the expo.
Entrance into the expo is 50,000 if you want to move around and learn about aviation. The theme of this expo is come and learn about aviation. It's as basic as that. You can pay through MomoPay, MTN, and the code is 173278.
Uganda Civil Aviation Authority is the main organizer of the Aviation Expo, but on board are Uganda Professional Pilots Association that will demystify the seemingly complex aviation industry to manage and encourage the public to use air transport services.
We have in the past also held the mini show, air show, at Tambarara Airfield in 2005 and Kajans Airfield. Earlier on, the public response had been massive at all previous events, and the plan is to continue to hold the events at different airfields across the country.
Despite the challenges facing Uganda's aviation industry, there seems to be a ray of hope on the growing aviation, following the increasing numbers in departures and arrivals.
We recorded 127,283 passengers. That is 62,413 arrivals and 64,700 departures. That's an average of 4,242 passengers per day.
This is not the first time the aviation industry is hosting the Aviation Expo. In 2012, as the country celebrated Uganda's 50th independence anniversary, a massive air show was held under the theme Fly at 50. Sula Kagugube compiled this report for UBC News.
The management of Opportunity Bank says that financial inclusion and mindset change are pillars in the implementation of the Parish development model. Opportunity Bank has trained 1,500 business agents on the PDM. The training included over 30 parish chiefs and commercial officers in Busoga region.
Mobilizing groups.
On our strategy as Opportunity International and Opportunity Bank, on how we would like to build the capacity of clients who are members of those people that are in poverty living in your parishes as Uganda, because we would like to address pillar number 3 of PDM and pillar number 5, which is talking about financial inclusion as pillar number 3, and pillar number 5, community association and the mindset change.
We want to hire 1,500 business support agents, but we're starting with the 150 piloted in regions in the east, in central, and in the west. And these business support agents will be working with the households and training the enterprise groups and ultimately the circle on business development services, financial literacy, and the culture of saving, which has been the biggest dilemma in our rural community.
The National Football Association has reported that the Cranes is set to play the Eastern region in what is called the Nile Special Cranes Namutima campaign. The game slated for the 3rd of this month focuses on having the team bond with natives. Meanwhile, Nile Special has announced the successful inclusion of the Cranes Cabo, unveiling 450 million proceeds from the campaign.
Whenever the national football side has an international engagement, it is mandatory to have a friendly game with the regional side. Now, Uganda is to play Algeria in the AFCON qualifier next month, and before that, they are to play the Eastern regional side in the Cranes Namutima campaign game. Cranes head coach MICHEAL has summoned 25 local-based players, dominantly players from Vipers, KCFC, URAFC, for the game on the 30th of this month. Meanwhile, Now Special has announced the successful conclusion of the Cranes Cabo, unveiling Uganda shillings 450 million proceeds from the campaign.
Not the end. This is by far and surely not the end, because we still have a journey ahead of us. It's not done. And we all know that 450 million just isn't enough to be able to get us there. But it will go a long way in being able to help us address certain projects that may get us there quicker.
Launched on November 18th, the drive aimed at rallying support for the Uganda Cranes national football team in its quest to qualify for the FIFA World Cup 2026 in North America.
It is now up to vote for the public to see which areas can be sponsored or funded in to make sure that the game of football comes in. Of course, as FUFA, 3 areas have been identified. First, the country is still in dire need of infrastructure, the playing fields, the technical centers, areas where, we can really manufacture football.
The Cranes Cabo campaign derived its name from the virtue of Ugandan society, which emphasizes communal support and unity when called upon for a worthy cause.
The International Tennis Federation World Tour Juniors J30 Kampala has entered its semi-final stage at the Lugogo Tennis Complex. The tournament attracted 32 boys and 16 girls from 9 nations, including Russia, Luxembourg, Great Britain, Ghana, India, Rwanda, and Tanzania. In the singles category, it's time for the semi-finals, in which Great Britain's Chidi Ike will face Russia's Nikita Motrofanovu in the first of the boys, while India's Charan Vadam and Vraj Gohil play the second. In the girls' singles, Russia's Leila Akimotova plays Ghanaian Sisu Makena, while Tanzanian Shana Martin and India's Reddy Nakula contest the other semi-final tie.
Forward to go to the next round and play better.
Okay. My name is Sisu Makena Tomega. I'm from Ghana, and in today's match I went in nervous, but then at the end of the day I figured out what I would do or what I would play to be able to become victorious. So I'm really happy and I thank God I was able to win my match today, but I'm just ready for my next match. Hopefully I can go in and become victorious like I did today.
And I'd say mine is to just say so far so good. We've had good matches so far, and right now as we speak we have some quarterfinal matches still ongoing on court. I can say it's a win-win for everybody. This is a wonderful start, and mine is just to encourage Uganda Tennis Association to keep on attracting and working to attract such events and even higher grades, because this is a first entry level for the junior players in the ITF events, more or less like semi-pro, so it's a very good start for them. It's a win for the association in itself. It's a win for the local players, because this is now the tournament comes closer to them. They have an opportunity of then playing in such an event and garnering these very, very vital, important points to propel them to the next step.
We thank you so much for watching. That brings us to the end. All we had for you tonight. My name is Michael Jordan LUKOMWA with Elizabeth Nakakon and the whole team. Wish you the best of the night. Do not miss Behind the Headlines at exactly 10 p.m. Bye-bye.